For my research paper, I read the novel Rebecca that was written by Daphne du Maurier. It was an easy read novel, and I liked the novel because it was a murder mystery type novel. Um, the way I see it, if you watch a lot of soap operas, you can easily tell what the outcome of the book was going to be. I pretty much had it figured out that he had killed his wife and that he would get away with it. Out of this novel, I drew a thesis. This novel shows the influence that power, position, and the upper class have on the justice system. And one of the topics that I talked about was that the conceptualization of power highlights two important characteristics of power. People can have power and not use it, or people can not have power, but the power be in a relationship. And the way I saw this out of this book is that Maxim was a person who had power and influence. Um, but he did not exert his power when it came to the criminal investigation. He did not try to bribe the magistrate. He did not try to pay off somebody in the criminal court system. Uh, Maxim pretty much remained relatively calm throughout the investigation. On the outside, at least, he remained calm, but he was sweating on the inside. Um, and I think the relationship where the power came in is that the magistrate, I think he may have found it hard to believe that somebody like Maxim would commit a crime. So I think that's why he didn't push Maxim or ask him harder questions into the investigation of the death of his wife. Had this been a common person, they would have been suspect at first. In the society we live in today, the spouse of a deceased person is automatically the suspect until, it's proven otherwise. So I think his power and his position really played a positive for him in that aspect that he wasn't pressed harder for answers during the criminal investigation. Another point that I made was that criminologists have long recognized that social class is an important variable in understanding criminal behavior. Um, and there was a study that showed there are so few middle or upper class people convicted of or charged with murder, robbery, larceny, and so on. And what the study was saying is that elite people, or people of the upper social class, they just don't commit crimes such as murder. And we know people do act out of the ordinary, but this study was saying this is just a behavior that does not exist among the upper class. Another point was that one class determines the type of crime one may commit. And I know I have seen on the TV where a crime was committed, and I automatically judge the type of person that committed that crime according to their social status. Another point was that the position and status of a person has a great influence on the justice system. And this point discussed how the police interact differently with a person of a higher class as opposed to a person of a lower class. Sometimes they handle the upper class people more in a more careful manner than they do of the lower class. Um, Again, we can just watch the news and we can see that a drug dealer from a lower class will probably automatically end up in jail, incarcerated. But somebody from a higher class, more likely than not, they're going to get sent to a rehabilitative center, and more likely than not, it's going to be a nice center. Um, my last point that I made was that theories have written about the role of police as agents of the upper class, meaning that they guard the royalty and chase street corner kids. Um, and the police also look out for the interests of the dominant political, social, and economic issues of the few. So again, we see where there's discrimination as to how the police handle the people of the elite class as opposed to the people on the lower spectrum of the ladder. In conclusion, I concluded that no one should be able to take the life of another person, and no matter what their economic status is, and that power and influence uh, should not influence the criminal justice system. Just because a person is in a position a power. They should not be able to influence the outcome of a criminal investigation. But unfortunately, we see this every day. It's nothing new. It's the society that we live in. That's why I titled my paper "The Unjust Justice System," because that's what I feel about our justice system. It's just unjust. Thank you.